who or where you come from. So first and foremost in the DNA, you are destined for dominion. So you have to understand what you have been programmed for right from the beginning. Ab initio, you are destined for dominion. And he says that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and over all the wild animals in the DNA, and over all creatures that are moving along the ground. So you have to understand what you have been programmed for, that you have been created for. Secondly, you have been nurtured. That is, you have been given everything for you to exercise this dominion. It says, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth. He didn't say a particular region. He said on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed, they will be yours for food. So indeed, you have been equipped. Indeed, you have been equipped and nurtured. Lastly, this is where the game changes. He has assigned you. And that is no small assignment. He says, be fruitful, increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over everything that moves in the ground. So permit me to say, you have been destined, you have been nurtured, and you have been given an assignment. That is, there is an expectation of you. When I was putting this together, looking at the X factor, the first thing that jumps at you is the X factor. We all know about the X factor. And I said to myself, oh, no. This is not the X factor that I was created with, the mind. He says, exceeding. Whoever put these titles together, God is speaking through this church. He is speaking through the empowered nation, his mind, his agenda. He says, exceeding expectations exponentially. And I said, it's not the X factor that we see. This is the cross. That is, by one man, the entire universe is saved. That is an X factor that God is expecting from us. Exponential. Now, my first question, the next question rather, would be, what are those expectations? You have to understand whose expectations and what expectations. Now, the expectations, I'm going to break it down, and you're going to see an ascending expectation. He says, be fruitful. That's the first expectation. He says, increase. That's the next level. Fill the earth. We see an expansion from being fruitful to increasing to filling the earth. You're not just going to fill the earth. He says you're going to subdue the earth. Oh my goodness. These are expectations of me, of the Creator. Not only that, rule over. So if you are not fulfilling any of these expectations, then it means you are operating at the minimal. Now, these expectations, I want to ask you, are these local expectations when he said, fill the earth? My answer is no. Are these expectations provincial expectations? Again, my answer is what? No. Are these expectations global? My answer is a yes. Now, he said be fruitful. That means he wants profit from what he has put into you. Not only, he is expecting profit. So whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever you want to do, there is an expectation of profit, exponential. Now, let me tell you something. 2 plus 2 would always be 4. He didn't say add. He said multiply. 9 multiplied by 9 gives you 81%. 81. But 9 plus 9 gives you 18. Same with 10 into 10. It's 100. 10 plus 10 is 20. Now, if you begin to do an extrapolation of 100 with 100, that's you know what you get. And that again with that, you can imagine the exponential expectations of God to you. Now, I'm kind of drilling down to where I'm going. I have laid the foundation of what your DNA is, where that DNA came from, what the expectations are, the scope of your expectations. So if you are flying an expectation to just be the best in, say, Brampton, or say Mississauga, or say Canada, you're flying below radar. You are expected, you have been created, you have been formed by a creator that is expecting exponential what? Profit from you. So the first question, the next question rather, would be, what do you have? What exactly do you have? A lot of people say, oh, I don't have gifts. Oh, I'm not so talented. When I hear that, I say, girl or boy, you haven't gone to the manual. When people say, oh, I don't have talent, I don't know how to do this, go to the manual. You would understand. What do you want? How do I use what I have to get what I want? These are questions that we must answer before we leave today. I established something that we have God's DNA. And a lot of people are asking, okay, what's God's DNA? You know, what does that mean? You know, that you carry. You are a carrier of this DNA. The first is that He is a creator. He created something phenomenal out of nothing. So when you say there is nothing, you are not radiating the DNA that He put in you. Because He created the world. He said the world was without form. And before you knew it, He created an amazing world today that you and I are still living in. He has creativity. When you look at creation and you look at the formation of the stars, the moon, the seas, the giraffe, the llamas, vegetation, cold, snow, heat, that is awesome creativity. Don't forget that DNA is in you. I'm going somewhere. Please follow me. He had vision. When I say vision, He envisioned the world into being. He didn't look at, oh, there was nothing. Oh, I can create this. I cannot do justice to God's DNA, but within the time frame that we have, I'm going to speak about God's DNA, the ones that, we can all identify with. Vision. Disruption. You say disruption? Is God a disruptor? Oh, yes. He disrupted darkness. He didn't negotiate with darkness. He didn't say, should I start with just little light? He said, let there be light. And He disrupted it. End of story. Innovation. When you look at God's creation, the stars, how He suspended, when you travel and you're in the clouds and then you go above the clouds, you wonder, who created all this? Innovation. The seas, The stars, their light is different from the sun, from the moon. And then passion. Oh, passion. God is very passionate. I kid you not. So when people tell you that you're passionate, you're too passionate, tell them, I am an original. I have the DNA of God. Because at each point of his creation, he said, it was good. It was good. It was good. He didn't need a board to affirm his creation. He said it was good. Then he had strategy. You know, he had an end goal in mind. But he had a strategy to, first of all, separate light from darkness, then the waters, then the seas, then vegetation, then the birds, then the animals, and every other thing that came. And he said it was good. The network. You might be asking, how does network come into being? He said, let us. There is an us. There is a networking. There is a collaboration in the creation. He says, let us make man in our own image. And then the last but not the least, because like I said, nobody can exhaust who God is. I am only trying to, give you a taste, a foretaste of who God is. Risk-taking. You might be wondering, what do you mean by risk-taking? He created this fantastic world. And he put just one man, Adam, in charge. Now, if that is not the highest level of risk-taking, tell me another thing. And then again, he said, okay, just for him to have companion, I'll give him Eve, making two people. Now, the thing is, he left the entire creation in the hands of two people. That is risky. Will they fail? Oh, yes, they did fail. They failed God. But he had another agenda. So what am I talking about when I say God's DNA? These DNA traits are describing something to us about ourselves. They are describing an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is passionate, strategy, innovation, disruption, a creator, a risk taker. That tells you that God is an entrepreneur. He is looking for profit from his creation. And now I begin to ask you, for those of you that, oh, I'm not good at singing, oh, I'm not this, oh, I'm not that, which of these attributes do you possess? Begin to look at it. When people tell you, oh, you're to this, you're to that, do not apologize for who you are. Because you are carrying a DNA that is so special to you. It's yours. You are not learning or searching about these DNA attributes. They're already in you. He said, let us make man in our image. And he created them, male and female. So you are born with God's DNA. So if I were you, I begin to write them down because we're going somewhere. Like I said, I'm not here to preach. My assignment is pretty simple. Charting the career development path and using what you have to get what you want. Because if you don't understand what you have, you can never understand what you want. So we're laying these foundations for you to understand. So if I were you, begin to think about those attributes, those things that are inside of you. So when some things kick inside of you and you're wondering, Why am I like this? Why do I want to go entrepreneurial? Why do I want to do my business? Because you carry a DNA. You can't take that DNA from you because you are a manufacturer's original. Okay? So let's begin to articulate them. So my question is, I'm going to bombard you with a lot of questions. What do you want? Knowing that you have God's DNA. What do you want, presupposes that what do you see? Because what you want takes its root from what you see around you. Now, if you look at my slide, you're going to see at the top bottom, you're going to see chaos, people in hospitals, and all of that. That's to the natural eyes. What is your vision? What do you see? In the last 6 months of 2020, we have seen things we have never, ever experienced. COVID-19. We saw people fighting for toilet paper. I never thought that I would see that day that people would be fighting for beef at the mall, in the stores. One says we're sold out of toilet paper. We see the streets empty, schools closed, aircrafts packed, not moving for months, and then the hospitals. Several cases. That's what you see? Is that what you see? What did God see? I want to take you back. It says in the beginning, the world was without form. He didn't see that. He saw birds. He saw the lion, the king of the jungle. He saw giraffes. He saw fruits. He saw trees. He saw beaches. He saw mountains. But in reality, it was dark. It was horrible. It was nothing compared to what he saw. So if you are going to get what you want, it's going to start from what you see. The narrative of COVID-19 is that COVID brought chaos to the world. Oh, yes. My condolences to the families that lost their loved ones, that couldn't be with them, to many people that lost their jobs, their businesses, and what have you. That is very true to an extent. But the reality of it is that COVID disrupted our normal. COVID reset the world into a new normal. COVID made some fail and some succeed. Let me just digress a bit. Skip the Dishes is a brand that we know. Before COVID, I don't know if you knew about Skip the Dishes so much, like during COVID. Now, that business, Josh Simar and his brother, they sold it for I think 200 million. It was during COVID. Hello? Because, preparation met opportunity. So, COVID made some others, others to fail, others succeeded. It disrupted industries and sectors. We're going to go in there. COVID, I want to submit, is a precious gift for self-growth. So if you want to use what you have to get what you want, you must begin to see differently. It's an opportunity for you to chart your career development path. Let me give you an example of the industries or the sectors that were disrupted. Education. Okay? The old norm, apply to the university attend in-person classes, graduate, apply for jobs, be employed, end of story. That's it. New normal? Oh no. Apply to the university. Hello, stay at home, do online classes. We don't want an in-person. E-graduate? What does that mean? Universities graduated their students for the first time. E-graduation? E-apply for jobs? E-interview? Then work remotely? Stay at home? That is a major disruption. Who would have thought that staying at home, would be the in thing? Other industries, aviation, the financial world. It exposed the gaps. People, mortgages, credit cards. There was no emergency fund. There was nothing. People. Now, I want to ask if these countries, great countries, Canada, US, UK, Germany, Italy, they didn't have the bailout funds. Seriously? I don't want to know what's going to happen. Either we would have started eating each other. Like there's no money, there's no food, there's nothing. It disrupted the health system. You don't need to go to the hospitals, the IoT kicked in. Oh, the supermarkets. You didn't get anybody. Deliveries, where it disrupted everything, logistics. Now the new reality, that's where I'm going. A new world. The whole world went digital. The kids went digital. You don't want them on internet? They have to be on internet. They have to study. They have to go on Zoom, on Google Meet, on Teams, whatever. They have to learn. Financial world, they were disbursing this money without you going to the bank. It was just like click, click. You got it into your account. You applied online. The old normal was disrupted. The new normal emerged. And we have the new industries. Now that is where, if you have not been listening to me prior to this time, please put on your listening ear. The new industries, distribution. It took another level. Financial, food. Amazon, just went in, delivering food, groceries. Look at the warehouses using robots. Most of those things we order for, some were done by robots. These were the new industries. So where am I going this beautiful Saturday morning or afternoon? We're already in the afternoon. How to get what you want. Number one, understand that you're born with a winning DNA. Understand that you are destined. It is not negotiable. You are nurtured. You have been given. You are assigned with the X factor, exponential. So anything less than exponential, you are flying below the radar. Now, your expectation is global. Your expectation is to exceed. Your expectation is exponential. Breaking news. A 9-to-5 is not an X factor route. Now, why do I say that? I do not intend to change, our perspectives, but to open our understanding. A 9-to-5 will give you an exact amount of money at the end of the month, at the end of the year, that is taxed. You are actually, employee of the month, employee of the year, blah, 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 blah. You're working for the profits of the organization. Your take home is not exponential. Your scope, what you can do with that, when you plug in the mortgage, when you plug in line of credit, when you plug in payment, your credit card, name it. And you want to tell me that is going to make you fulfill your exponential expectation of God with the DNA that he has put in you? That is not his plan. You may start from there because, we all start from somewhere. I started from there. I started working a 9 to 5. But believe me, this 5'5" lady talking to you, I knew there was something inside of me that was just not comfortable with the 9 to 5. I didn't know it that time. I just thought maybe I was just being stubborn. I was just being, a nonconformist. I didn't know that I was carrying God's DNA. So you may start from there, a 9 to 5. You may want to start from there. We're going to get there. But to exceed expectations exponentially, it is a shift in mindset to a new normal. The future is calling. The future of the new normal. The future that we are seeing now, it belongs to those who can activate their DNA. Like a missile, when you activate a missile, and, the missile is just a missile if you have not activated it, right? It's just there. It's docile, it's not working, it's nothing, But the minute that missile is activated, it has only one mission. It is fired to go and achieve the goal. Okay? So if your DNA has not been activated, this today is to activate your DNA. The future belongs, whatever, this decade. You were born for a time like this. So you cannot use the old normal to go through the new normal. So it belongs to those that can activate their DNA. Those who can see, not with the physical eyes, what is visible to the natural eyes. Those who can disrupt, who can harness the opportunities that come with disruption. Artificial intelligence, seeing beyond, the normal. So as we go, we understand that we have God's DNA. And his expectations are exponential, global. So what are those things that you must do to get what you want? The first thing, you must set goals. That is the first step in charting your career path. And pretty much anything in life. Be specific. You want to go to the moon, you want to become the second Yuri Gagarin, okay. For those who want to go into space, thank you. Be specific. Let it be measurable. At what point? In 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Achievable. Realistic and timely. Now, the next thing when you have set those goals is you cannot use the old tools of the old normal for the new normal. You must retool and you must upskill. Now, I want to ask any one of you, during the last 6 months, ask yourself, did I retool? Did I upskill myself? Did I learn anything? Did I get any certification, any license, anything that is different? If you did not in the last 6 months, employers are going to look at a gap in your resume. They're going to look at people who are ready for the new normal. They're going to ask, oh, what did you do in the last 6 months? So if you did not earn a certification, you did not retool to learn something new, maybe do, Prince 1, Prince 2, whatever, that looks like what they're looking for in the new normal, you have wasted the last 6 months. We're going to go to those industries very soon. You need to upskill. And now, everything is online. COVID is my most beloved because online, Study online. Get the degree. Get online. Secondly, for you to get what you want, it's about networking. Why do I say networking? Because the expectations are global, exponential. You need something that will propel you faster than you trying to reinvent the wheel. Hello? I'm going to leave this networking, quotes by some people, that I have come to revere and, Robert Kiyosaki. He says the richest people in the world build networks. If you want to exceed expectations exponentially, you have to begin to build networks. Networking must be part of your agenda because networking is the currency of the successful. Networking is the currency of entrepreneurs. Networking is the currency of the new normal. And another one says networking is the number one unwritten rule of success in business. So networking, you want to get there, exponentially exceed network. Now, networking professionally, because we're talking about your career. Now, before COVID, we had, various networking events, business events. Oh, hi, how are you? Blah, 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 your card, my card. This is where I work, this is what I do, da, da, da. Okay. So post-COVID, no networking. But there is also networking online where you join webinars, workshops, people who are going in the direction that you're going to. So the first one that I would say, I was very, very careful in this, classification of the networks. LinkedIn, professional. A lot of people, talk about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. For me, if you are a professional and you're not on LinkedIn, you're nowhere. Because that is the first place people look for you on social media if you're a professional or you want to be, professional. So networking 101, okay? You create an online professional and engaging profile, all right? People are very strategic now. Have a photo of your best self, not the one you took, thank God it's Friday, where your hair was, one went this way, the other went that way, da-da-da. Nobody wants to talk to that kind of person, at least not me, and I'm sure not any professional person. Then follow thought leaders and subject matter experts or leaders in your chosen career and across a broad spectrum of interests. Right now, I follow quite a number of people, majorly in leadership. I want to be a better leader. I want to follow people who have gone that route. I follow people who disrupt the world. I'm following Richard Branson. The guy is talking about Virgin Galactic. What concerns me with Virgin Galactic? But I will learn. I follow Simon Sinek. I follow a great number of people. Steve Harvey. Name them. Thought leaders. People who matter to where I'm going. I'm not going to follow someone who doesn't matter to my career route or journey because we don't have anything in common. So, why would I do that? Create engaging content. Okay? On LinkedIn, I am so tired of seeing people flashing the degrees, oh, I graduated. Excuse me? In the new normal, just flashing that is your achievement. Okay, it could be, but if that achievement is to show tenacity, resilience, passion. Say a 54-year-old guy goes to uni and then graduates. Oh, that is a story I want to learn. That tells me that there is no age to growth or development. But just flashing a BSc and MBA just for flashing it is not a creative content, as far as I'm concerned. Permit me. And then you comment professionally on trending issues, of interest, And of course, like I said, attend professional networking events, engagements, and follow up on content. I cannot tell you how many people I have connected with. When they make comments, I go to their profile and I'm like, he's in India, she's in Ukraine, and she's commenting, and that tells you the power of social media professionally, okay? Number 3, mentoring. You want to get to where you want to get to, exceed expectations exponentially, you need mentors. Mentors that have gone the route. Why would you want to fail when somebody else has failed for you and can show you where the landmines are? Go this way, go that way. And of course, giving you the freedom to be creative, to be your own, you understand? If I had mentors when I started out, look, this Gen Z, Gen X, Y, Z, you are blessed. Because when I started my first business in 1999, a mother of 3, there was 0 mentors. So believe you me, I made the best mistakes of my life. They were costly. But you don't need to make those mistakes. And that is why this generation, you need mentors. I leave you with some of the great quotes. Michelle Obama, find people who make you better. If I found people that made me better, probably I would be, I don't want to say, probably the president of one very great country, or something. But be that as it may, Serena said, every woman's success should be an inspiration. Look for people who are inspiration to you, who bring out the best in you. Mentoring, Madiba says, what counts in life, Nelson Mandela, is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is the difference, is what difference we have made to the lives of others that would determine the significance of the life we lead. Those are quotes from people I revere. You begin to know the things that move me, the things that, catches my fancy. Find professional mentors that will support your growth and career development. Because mentors, they provide the support, they help you to manage the change. Maybe you are applying for a course and, you're just going with this and say, I don't know what to do. A mentor, he tells you, straight away, don't do this. Why? He's done it because that experience is not on Walmart. It's not on the shelf on Walmart. You can't buy that experience at Costco. Okay? Mentors provide support that helps to navigate the challenges you have not experienced before. I can tell you how to multitask with 3 kids that were under 10, and I was running a business. I can tell you what it cost me. I can tell you what I had to go through. You don't need to go through all of that. All you need to do is learn and then take what you have to say and run with it. Mentors provide a multidimensional support from their wealth of experience and expertise. It's multidimensional. I should tell you about the days that you're not seeing anything and you're still believing and you want to understand how it feels. Talk to me. Be professional in your engagements and follow up on contact leads. Now, number 4, the future is entrepreneurship. I make my submissions to you. that the future we're going into this decade and the decades to come is entrepreneurship. There's a disruption. Entrepreneurs who are creators. Entrepreneurs with the mindset and the skill set. Entrepreneurs that will build the new industries. Look at Elon Musk. He's talking about going to space. They're launching and all of that. You know, they did the Tesla, you know, and then Virgin Galactic and what have you. Who knows? Maybe in 10 years, you and I would be having our honeymoon Pluto or Mars. Who knows? Don't never say never. Entrepreneurs with global impact for generations. Now, I leave you with some global entrepreneurs. Now, when I had to carefully select them, these are people that when they speak, I want to listen. And my all-time favorite, okay, permit me, women, you know, I'm rooting for you. Oprah Winfrey. That's the queen of talk show. You know, I've always admired her tenacity, her resilience, her creativity. You know, Jack Ma, this guy, he got fired several times. That would make anybody just, you know, go take a job somewhere, you know, washing dishes and say, okay, that's it. But Alibaba, we know what, Indira Nooyi, PepsiCo, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Elon Musk, Steve Harvey, that is the king of talk show, motivational speakers. Steve, he's an IT entrepreneur in Africa, in I think Zimbabwe. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I had to put, you know, entrepreneurs that are home-based, the Sima brothers of, you know, Skip the Dishes, okay? Entrepreneurship 101. This is it. So, if you are maybe thinking about getting a 9-to-5, like I said, you could start from the 9-to-5 and then migrate to whatever entrepreneurship, or you don't want to do that, you just want to jump. You have 3 categories. The high risk. They know that the 9-to-5 is not my deal, okay? You could be an accidental entrepreneur, you know, you got fired, your boss doesn't like you. Like, I was an accidental entrepreneur. I had a horrible boss. You know, have you ever seen Horrible Bosses, the film? They're real. They are very real. So I had a horrible boss, and I said to myself, you know what, Olu, you're better than this. You know, I had my passion, I had my, you know, can-do spirit. I didn't have mentors, of course, you know, but I took the risk, I took the jump. I'm the kind of person, I don't do 99.1%, I'm 100%. I jump, poof, I'm gone. Because I would have thought about it, I would have said to myself, this is where I'm going, and that's it. Go. You know, the high risk like me. Take the plunge, go full-time as entrepreneurs. Now we have the low risk. They're the ones that test waters. They want to go part-time, you know, with their 9-to-5, and then, you know, see how entrepreneurship works, and then they transition. Great, as long as you end up being an entrepreneur. Now, the no risk. They are the stay-at-home, the do-nothing. I'm not going to do anything, but that is also very risky, because doing nothing has its own risks. So the new reality, now that you understand, we want to go into charting that career development path. And we're juxtaposing it with the new reality. There are uncertainties, job losses, business losses. I mean, I don't want to mention retail brands that went kaput. They filed for bankruptcy to show you how the mighty have fallen. COVID, financial distress, debts, credit cards, line of credits, mortgages, loans. Then the new industries, that's where I'm going. Distribution. Open your eyes to see the opportunities in distribution. First, financial. When all hell broke loose, the only industry that sustained every industry was the financial industry. True or wrong? True. Second, food. Third, protection. Protecting your life, protecting your income. Now, you can't say who can die tomorrow. Because COVID has shown. I mean, who would have thought? When COVID came, I'm sorry I'm using, Trump. And then I heard he had COVID. I said, really? COVID got into the White House and his wife? That COVID must be disrespectful. But it is true. So, protection is very important. Innovation in health, in education, in aviation, and artificial intelligence. Entrepreneurship 102. To get something new done, you have to be stubborn. And I mean stubborn and focused. When you're talking about somebody who is stubborn, don't look further. Just look at me. I am very stubborn. But that is a trait of an entrepreneur. And focus to the point that others might find you unreasonable. If Jeff Bezos said that, then who am I? Who are you? Now, I want to go, as I'm closing. We're going on a descent now, where you hear the pilot say, okay, we're flying into Toronto, and we're taking our descent, and then, start putting off your phones, put your bags under your this and that. That's what we're doing now. The pilot is saying we're going on a descent. Now, charting your career development path, I want to bring it home to tell you my story. I understood what I was born with. I had creativity. I was born, I knew that my comfort zone was outside. I wanted to, explore outside, travel, creativity, passion. I didn't want to be normal. I wasn't normal. I mean, not like I was, you understand what I mean when I say I'm not normal, okay? Not that I went notice, I wasn't just your normal girl or normal person because I knew who I was. I am taking my strength from Maya Angelou, who is my all-time mentor. All time. I learned to stand up straight. I learned to realize who I was, that I can tower over circumstances, that I'm a child of God, stand up straight. And knowing that you may encounter many defeats, and I did encounter many defeats, and I will still encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. So what is my DNA? I followed my passion. I traveled the world. Anything that could get me to wherever I want to. I remember last year, December, I went to Lesotho. That's where you're seeing. And the country asked me to come talk to the entrepreneurs, the different entrepreneurs. I just went. Somebody said, Lesotho? Who lives in Lesotho? Who goes to Lesotho? I said, you don't know? I go. And when I was given a state dinner by the Minister of Small Businesses, Shalane Fore, and traveling that country, I didn't come back the same. I followed my passion. Networking. I knew from the get-go that networking is it. So what do you have? I had creativity. I had the love of, studying geography, a social scientist. I love people. I love meeting people. I love writing. When I travel, I document, I write down, and then books come out of those experiences or some of my entrepreneurial journey. And when I started my second company in 2016, now this is where I'm going, and I hope Brother Ezekiel is listening. We were both entrepreneurs. I opened, what you call workspace, a hub for, startups. We provided training and all of that. And I was passionate about the books I had written. And I was passionate about, curating networking events. And he also was a startup entrepreneur. He had creativity, media. And I want to tell you, he was my first client. For 2 months, we didn't have a client knock the door to ask for us workspace until Ezekiel came. And we just grabbed him and said, yes, we'll take you. We'll take you for whatever. Just come. But what am I saying? We built networking events together that if anyone had told us in 2016 that a day will come that the same Ezekiel Akintola would be the one to invite me to this church for this program in 2016 and then 2020, you would have said no. But that is the currency that entrepreneurs. So we brought our creativity, we brought our resilience, we brought all that we had into what we were going on a journey. But we didn't know where that journey was going to take us. But networking built us where we are today. Okay? So never underestimate the power of networking. Some people you meet on your journey, you network with, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, they could be the key to open a particular door. I remember this particularly, one of the book clubs, then it was Skype. I was out of the country and we needed to do it and we just did it by Skype. And, this man, Brother Ezekiel. And I'm not surprised that is what he's doing today. When I saw him putting the gadgets together, setting up, prepping, I remember 2016. Networking. I have earned some currencies in networking. I have built, networks across board that money cannot buy. Money cannot buy. Mentoring. I have a passion to empty myself daily to the next generation. Because I look at my journey, I look at the things that if I had a mentor, what I would have achieved, and I look at a next generation, they should be better, they should be exceeding expectations exponentially. I gave of myself, and I'm still giving of myself to mentoring. Mentoring young adults in universities across, in Africa, in Nigeria, other African countries. Our entrepreneurship journey with Ezekiel, we were on a mission to empower young adults. So seeing what he's doing today or being part of the empowered nation didn't start today. It didn't start in 2020. We were on a mission since 2016. Mine, precedes that. Entrepreneurship. These kind of platforms have been the platforms that I have known for years that have become this is who I was born to be, what I was designed to do. On a final note, if you think that this conference is going to provide you with easy answers or shortcuts, there are some students that just say, just break it down. Just give me point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gone. You're wrong. Okay? There are no easy answers. There is no shortcut. Any shortcut is actually a long route. Okay? Know that any shortcut is a long route. Rather, the objectives of this conference, the first is to kick in, to activate your DNA, to set smart goals as you go into this decade. This decade has been given to you and I. We were born for this decade. To connect you with mentors and networks, and to unleash your X factor for a global impact. So throw a local, provincial, national impact, throw it away and embrace a global impact. In closing, I was part of a convention, a financial industry, I'm going to wait for the Q&A. I saw some questions, that I would just wait until that time. And I was at this convention, and there were great speakers. But one of the speakers left me with something that I want to share with you in closing. He says, and I want to share it with you, that the capacity to change is a gift. That is, this decade is a gift. So the capacity to change is a gift. Now, the ability to change is a skill. Finally, the willingness to change is a choice. So it is your choice. If you don't want to change, then it's your choice. And the countdown, the time starts now. COVID is going. The end of the year is gone. 1 year out of 1 decade is gone. The countdown starts now. Success, as I close, from my all-time mentor, Maya Angelou, is liking yourself. Oh boy, I like myself. I love myself. I am feisty. I am stubborn. I go for new things. I want to learn. I want to meet people. I want to travel. I want to impact my generation. I want to leave a mark. Like one of the speakers said at the convention, says, put your flag in the world before you leave and say, I came, I saw, and I conquered. And I like what I do. What I do is empowering young people to make them better, to make them exceed expectations, to fly, to empower them financially, mentally. And how I do it, it's me. So the last half of my life, I always say that, and my younger brother says, sis, please, you're just 53. I say, yes, I know. Okay. The last half, which means double 53 is going to be 106, is dedicated to raising and empowering young adults, black entrepreneurs, to be the best, to be global changers in this generation that we are. So that when I breathe my last and I put my flag on the soil, I would say to my Creator, I came, I saw, and I conquered. Thank you all for listening.
Love me too much, Your love is kind. Your love is patient. You fill my life with so much joy and peace. Oh God, you're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. Oh God, you're amazing. Oh God, you make me feel brand new. Jesus, you love me too much. Oh, too much. Oh, too much. Oh, excess loving. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, you love me too much. Oh, too much. Oh, too much. Oh, excess love. Oh, 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 you love me too much, you love me too much, oh, 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 your love is kind. Your love is precious. Yeah. You fill my life, yeah, with so much peace and joy. Lord, you are amazing. You're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. Sing it, Lord, you're amazing. You're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. Sing, Jesus, you love me so. Jesus, you love me too much. Oh, too much. Oh, too much. Excess love. You love me too much. Jesus, you love me too much. Oh, too much. Oh, too much. Excess love.
Thank you. Thank you for that great presentation.
Thank you, Tolu.
Before we dive a little bit more into our question and answer period, I wanted to kind of read your bio for our audience so they have a better understanding of all the accomplishments and the achievements that you have. So let me just begin. So Olu is a multi-sector interventionalist for entrepreneur development with a special focus in agribusiness, tourism, media, creative arts and aviation, and social entrepreneurship. You've come with us to us with over 20 years of experience in developmental communication in the public sector and the private sector, and you're also an award winner from U.S. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee in recognition of all the work you've done. You're an avid thinker, an avid creator. You serve as an international business broker, strategist, enabler of visions, and incubator of business ideas, and that's something we're going to dive a little bit more into. Motivational speaker, mentor, global youth ambassador, and a multidisciplinary consultant with multiple industries. Market experience that spans over 2 decades. One of the big takeaways that I took from your presentation was your ability to network. You have many networks all over the globe, reaching many countries in Africa, North America, UK, Europe, and Asia. In regards to your scholastic endeavors, you hold a Bachelor of Science degree in Geography from the University of Ife, I know many people are excited about that. Yeah. As well as a master's degree in communication and language arts from the University of Ibadan. Got that right. Yeah. All righty. Like I said, there's been many awards and many things you've been involved in. You're also the founder and convener of the Land of My Birth Development Initiative, chairman and executive director of the African Hub of International and My Heritage Books, and you're an accomplished author as well. As I look through your bio, once again, there's too many things to mention, but I just want to make sure that our audience knew how qualified you are and how much work you've done in our field. So I just want to say thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Tolu.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to dive a little bit more into the questions. All righty. In question number 1, in your opinion, is there a difference between finding a job and finding a career?
Yeah, there is a difference between finding a job. A job is just one-time event, is one-time thing. You know, I want a job as either as an admin, assistant. I want a job as a communicator, or, you know, it's just a job. Your thinking at that moment is just temporary, it's just short-term. Now, a career spans over a lifetime, and your career is not just a job that you have done. It's a conglomeration. It's a fusion of the job positions that you have taken over a period of time. So they're very different. So if I'm applying to, say, XYZ Bank, okay, as an analyst, okay, that is a job at that bank. But my career could be the banking, you know, my career path could be wanting to go into the financial sector or the banking sector. So it's totally different. And you can have that over a period of years, you know, that you have been on that career path. So it could be you started from finance, then you got into IT and all of that. So your career path, your career is totally different from, you know, your job. Your job is just a short-term, you know, temporary, you know, when you look at it from that perspective.
Thank you, thank you. As we look into kind of careers and jobs of the future, what industries do you see growing over the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, like I mentioned in my presentation, we've seen a lot of disruptions, okay? And one of the key industries is distribution. Distribution is so key now because of COVID. The in-person or one-on-one interaction, you know, is limited now. The people need to send things, people need to receive things, people need to do, you know, stuff to avoid or reduce minimally their contact or interaction with people. So I would say, you know, the distribution industry. Now, which industry, when I say distribution, okay, we're going to narrow it down. Distribution, like I said, the very first industry that was not disrupted or that saw a transformation was, you know, the financial industry, okay? Now, distribution means, you know, taking products of these financial company and giving it out, you know. So you have distribution as one in the financial industry, in the food industry, okay? When I say the food industry, you know, talk about groceries. I remember there was a period of time, my daughter, you know, she was thinking about going to Walmart, and she said, Mom, between, you know, going to Walmart, catching COVID, and paying an extra $10, which one should I pick? I said, you know what? Do you want to catch COVID or you want to eat food? She said, okay. I wouldn't think about, you know. So she kind of ordered the groceries for like 2 months, you know, in a row, okay? So distribution, you know, food, groceries, skip the dishes, Uber Eats, you know, these are people, you know, COVID is still there, it's still out there, it's still there. So we're going to see a lot of distribution okay? Distribution in terms of even aviation, distribution of their products, distribution of, finances, the financial world. You're looking at, for instance, protection. People need protection now. People need to be protected. They need protection of their lives, okay? Their kids, their homes, their jobs. So we're gonna see a lot of traffic in those areas, okay? And of course, in health, okay? We're gonna see artificial intelligence, IoT kicking in, Internet of Things, where you don't need to come to the hospital for you to see a doctor, telemedicine, things like that. Now at the airport, it's touchless. I don't see you, you don't see me. I go in there, machines, you're talking to machines, machine is talking to you. So those are the new industries that are emerging.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When we think about our young people and this current job market, what is some advice on top of the presentation that you'd like to give them in regards to going into university or college? Should students defer in this time of COVID? Should they look for work instead of going to school? What advice would you give to young people that are kind of navigating this COVID environment?
Yeah, I would say they should go to school as a foundation, okay? But in addition to that, if I were you in your shoes right now, I would take a part-time, job, or, be a part-time entrepreneur, because that is the ultimate, thing that would drive this decade. So as you are going into the university or the college, then have a part-time business, okay? Not a job, a part-time business, okay? If I had, I mentioned that if I had mentors, okay, or people who told me what I could do or what couldn't do when I was growing up, I never ever did a part-time job when I went to the uni, okay? I didn't have any entrepreneurial skills. I didn't know how to do a job, because the old normal, when I belong to the baby boomers generation, go to college, go to uni, come out, get married, have children, end of story. So, but now you do that, you fail. Okay? So right now you go to school and then have part-time income. If I had that opportunity, I would understand how finance works, how you can become, an entrepreneur. You can make money work for you, have an appreciation for money. So I didn't have all of that. I didn't know. I lived in a cocoon. So I didn't understand how finances work. So end of story, go to school and then get a part-time business. That's the way. So when you're leaving college or leaving university, you already understand what the economy is saying. You understand what finance is saying. You understand what money is saying. Like Robert Kiyosaki, you understand how money works. Because one thing that COVID showed us was we didn't know how to manage money. We didn't know how finances worked. We were just taken. We were just blindsided by COVID, and everybody just started screaming, so we don't want to do that to the next generation. They must be prepared, and they must be armed, having their own business at a very early stage.
Thank you. Those are two very big takeaways.
Yeah.
Individuals should learn how to manage their money better, and young individuals should learn how to open and run a business.
Yeah.
Yes, two very important takeaways. When we talk about marketing yourself and we take a look at your resume or your cover letter as a very accomplished woman, what are some of the accomplishments that should be listed on individuals' resumes and cover letters?
Okay. The accomplishments, we're in the new normal now. So saying I hold a bachelor's or a master's is not going to cut it anymore, okay? They're going to look at, when I say employers are going to look at the skills that you're bringing, skills that can disrupt, skills that can manage disruption, skills that can manage people, skills that can take whatever company from point A to point Z. So you're going to have to feature that, because they don't, I mean, getting a bachelor's or master's is just like, buying lollipop and, it's not going to cut it in this new normal. It has to do with the skills. Like I said, if you're going back to the job market, one thing that if I was, an employer, I want to look at the gap of March to October. What did you do? What skills did you acquire that you're bringing on board? So the skills and your experience, whether it be voluntary, you've been volunteering, or they want to see how adaptable, how you fit into their scheme of vision and the mission. And your degree is not going to show that you have that.
Thank you. To kind of continue on with that question, and you talked about skills and competencies that you need in today's workforce. Can you maybe give our audience maybe a list of maybe 2 or 3 skills that you think are very important in today's work environment? Is it your ability to work with teams? Is it your ability to work with different type of technology? Is it your ability to communicate? If you had to maybe summarize the top 2 or 3 skills that employers are looking for in this day and age, what would those be?
The first skill is the ability to communicate. If you can't communicate, you're not getting their attention. So you must learn to be articulate in both reading, spoken. Okay, when I say spoken, you're not speaking to them, but then you're going to have interviews, like video interviews. They're going to ask your 30 seconds elevator pitch presentation. So if you can't articulate that in 30 seconds, they don't want to. So I would say communication is very, very important. Now, I'm looking at adaptability, okay? How adaptable are you? Because disruption talks about being adaptable to a new normal. So if you're not adaptable to change, because every organization has gone through, change. They have evolved. New concepts have emerged. So they're not going to be looking at skills that would not help them to, continue in that change space. So adaptability is also, one of the skills that you should be able to prove to, and then people, your ability to work with people or manage people, because disruption talks about a lot of, we have seen that we need to be more people-oriented than ever before. What COVID has exposed is the nastiness of humanity and has brought back the humaneness that is supposed to be. It was like God said, everybody go to your room. Just all countries go to your room and get yourself, properly behaved, and then come back to wear a humane, face.
Thank you. During your presentation, you spoke about the importance of having an online profile or being able to market yourself online. Taking a look at some of the social media sites, as well as LinkedIn, Facebook, and then many social media opportunities, what advice would you give to young people on how they should market themselves? So if you're doing something on Facebook, how would you do that compared to doing something on Instagram, compared to doing something on LinkedIn, if you had to kind of break down those platforms?
Yeah, so basically, if you're a creative person, like you're a photographer, you're a video content person, you do things with multimedia, okay? Your go-to social media platform would be Instagram, because that is where people who want to digest, who want to have that kind of content go to. Okay, so you're a photographer, you're a video person, you're doing documentaries, films, anything in that space, fashion, name it, Instagram, okay? And you create, a fun side of it and then a professional side of it, because you don't want to just throw garbage there. It's going to be like, like a computer, garbage in, garbage out. You don't get the right kind of traffic that you need if you're not purposeful in, strategic in your presentation, in your content. So if you're creative, that would be your space. Because putting all of that on LinkedIn might be too overwhelming. People who go on LinkedIn, they're more like the professionals, people who are looking, subject matter experts, leadership, management, business, aviation, the heavy stuff. You understand? So if you're caught in that space like I am, I'm interested. I don't want to do Instagram. I don't want to know the latest fashion. Excuse me, just give me black and white or something. I'm gone. I'm good. I don't want to spend time. So that's not my play zone. Okay. So, but if you are the kind of person that you deal with media, you deal with news, you deal with knowing what breaks, as it's breaking in Kazakhstan, in Ukraine, Twitter, you want to know the breaking news, you understand? So that's your playground, okay? And what else? Facebook, okay? You're the kind of person, you're looking for your lost colleagues and all of that, blah, de blah. You can go on Facebook. I have just, narrowed my social media right now to just LinkedIn because of my, interests. Because I find others distracting, because the time you take in looking at those platforms that are not in my space, what I want, is taking my time, and my time is precious. Because like one of the speakers, at this convention that I said I was at, a financial convention, says our window of opportunities, is closing by the day, every day. So, and I don't want to be, wasting my time, basically. So you have to know the industry or your interests and how or what platform best, projects that. And once you have that, then you have a professional presence to drive the right traffic to your page. Yeah.
Thank you very much. One of the important topics that you hit during your presentation was the importance of having or finding a mentor.
Yeah.
For young people or individuals that don't have a mentor, what are some steps they can take to finding one? Mm-hmm. And what are some qualities that they should look for in a mentor?
Okay, yes. So what are the steps? You have to, for instance, like I said in my presentation, that, the second half of my life is dedicated to, putting together empowering young adults. So, which is still in a phase. In the next couple of months, it would be properly defined, where young adults can access mentors. Okay, not only me as a mentor, but we're going to have like other mentors who have that kind of wealth of experience. Because look at it, we are like a walking encyclopedia. Okay, when I say, some of these Gen Z would say encyclopedia. What does that mean in the age of Google? We grew up with encyclopedia. Okay, we're like walking encyclopedia. So finding a mentor is finding a platform, and like I said, what the Empowered Nation is doing is a great. It's a great thing that you're doing, the platform, the vision. Coupled with that, we want to network with people who have established or who are establishing mentoring platforms, where you now direct them to those platforms, and then form what you call, a network of mentors, so that when they come to that platform, if you're interest is in, say, media, leadership, you name it, entrepreneurship, you will find the right mentor. And who is the right mentor? There is never a right mentor, because as long as we're human beings, we're not perfect, okay? We're flawed. But what we're saying is a mentor that carries his or her experience to the table to show you the way, and also allows your creativity at the end of it, because at the end of the day, it's your choice to either take it or, not take it. So finding the right mentor must be a leader, someone who is a leader. A leader is not somebody that leads, it's a leader that serves. That serves. My last book is called Serve with Heart and Might. If you are looking for a leader and that leader does not have the heart of people to serve, take a walk.
Thank you. That's a very important takeaway. If
Yeah.
you want to be a leader, you have to have a servant's heart.
Yeah.
Something important to look for. Another important point that you touched upon during your presentation was the importance of networking. As we look into today's kind of job market and today's career field, what are some networking opportunities that young people can take advantage of now?
Okay. There are a lot of networking events, webinars, workshops. Like I said, when you follow, I remember, I'm very passionate about the aviation industry. Okay, not only for Africa, but, I don't know why, aerospace has been my thing, aviation, I don't know, So, and I know that one of the countries, I've been following, the three major countries that are into the aircraft manufacturing, Airbus, France is the top, Bombardier, Canada, and of course, Boeing, which is US. So, if my interest is in aviation and I'm not following Airbus, I'm not following Boeing, I'm not following Bombardier, on LinkedIn. So when I follow, whatever they're, whatever they're doing, maybe workshops, maybe seminars, like the last one that the France-Canada Chamber of Commerce put together on mobility, I was interested because the aviation sector, the logistics, transportation generally is going to change. So I want to know, as an entrepreneur, I want to know what the next move is. So when they had a webinar on mobility, we had Porsche, we had Schneider, there was also someone from Airbus talking about, the latest, the new inventions, innovations in cars, aircrafts, even the trains, you understand? So how you can network is by one, having a LinkedIn presence, following, subject matter experts, following top companies that are in your space, and then when they have networking events or webinars, you begin to, gather all of that. It's not going to come in a day. It's precept upon precept, line by line, that eventually you're going to connect with someone that sees your potential and say, oh, we're having so-and-so. Could you be, we're having an in-person, blah, 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 and that's it. Let me give you an example. Because I went to Lesotho last year, when I came into Canada in February, there was an event that was supposed to happen in Ottawa. I was supposed to be there, and I reached out. I had never met the High Commissioner of Lesotho to Canada ever. I have never seen him before, but because I know, how to network, I sent messages to the consular office and all of that. And the day I got the response and says, oh, my sister, I want to meet with you, in Ottawa. And one thing led to the other. I was meant to go to Ottawa, but I couldn't go again. But that relationship has been built. So we communicate now. And, whenever I'm going to have an event or they're going to have an event, they're going to send me an invite, and that's how you build your networks. Never, ever underestimate networking. Take the plunge. Don't think that they're not going to respond or they're not going to, just go.
Thank you. As we look to give advice to young people that may be changing career paths, so the example would be if you were going to school for hotel or tourism, with this new COVID environment, that has been derailed. What advice would you give to them on doing research before they move into a different career path?
I wouldn't say tourism is derailed now. Oh, no. It has just been re-engineered. It's re-engineered because we're still going to travel. We're still going to consume services in tourism. It might not be physical. It might be through digital magazines or when you have, these games that virtual, reality thing is, you have them on. And then I'm looking at a time where I will be in say, Toronto, and I want to go to Casablanca. And then there's this tourism, an experiential company that says, okay, just wear them goggles, and then you travel, and then you see yourself going into Casablanca, you see yourself going in. That is an experience. So like I said, tourism is going to be here with us. So it's just been re-engineered. So if you're in tourism, I would say begin to research into where tourism and travel is going now, that direction. Where is it going? So it's not out of the box. It's not out of the window. No, not at all.
Thank you. We just have a couple more questions, so just please bear with me. So as students begin to kind of navigate this new global environment, when you think back to some of your experience, were there one or two experiences that really empowered you or kind of changed your career path? Would you be willing to share any of those experiences with us?
Yes. Like I said, I remember, I'll just take you through one or two. When it started from, my secondary school, I loved geography. Geography was my best subject. And, when I told my dad that I wanted to study geography in the university, in the days when it was either accounting, engineering, law, medicine, I didn't project myself as a normal kid, okay? He said, what? I said, geography. Okay, so thank God he had sense. He allowed me to study geography. And that opened for me, an opportunity to be able to travel. I wanted to travel the world. But then I was just a 17-year-old kid, a 16-year-old kid, in a little town in Ibadan, in Oyo State, in Nigeria, very far away, far away from here. But what does that mean? When I got into my very first job, which was working with the airline industry, okay, I think God just said, okay, let me just show her what she can do in the travel and tourism. So I went into Swissair, okay, the old-time Swissair. And I began to see, these brochures that were being sent from Zurich every month. I looked at the Swiss Alps. I would look at the magazine, beautiful mountains, skiing. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to, plan tour packages. I want to take people to travel, to have that experience. And, I think I was born I was ahead of my time. So I had a horrible boss. So I just told myself, you know what? I'm done. I've done this for 2 years. I'm starting my own business, which was in travel and tourism. So I became an entrepreneur by chance because I told myself, you can be better than this. I didn't just want to book a client from Lagos to Casablanca, from Casablanca to Khartoum and all of that. That was my deal. That wasn't my deal. I didn't want to stay glued to a machine. and just punching and okay, Lagos, because then it was just, these old machines. You don't want to see those machines now. We're just booking. I said, no, I want to be this and that and that. And then my DNA kicked in, and then my horrible boss, God bless his soul, he's dead now, sorry. I said to myself, oh no, I'm going to go my way to explore the opportunities of what I had in my spirit, in my being. I didn't know what it was, that it was entrepreneurship. I didn't know. So I just told my dad, I'm going to start my own business. And he supported me like good dads. All dads in the house, thank you. Thank you for what you do for your daughters, And that was a career change. It was just a path, So I was just, boom, born, landed on the entrepreneur. I didn't have any mentor, no training, nothing. And I started that company. I want to say with all humility that when I began to package tours, I didn't have a clue. There was no manual. There was nothing. I was just doing it from creativity. But one thing I maintained was I took all my 3 children on all the tour packages, that I did to the west coast of Africa, to within Nigeria. And my first child owns a travel company today. And whatever it is that I took out of that is the fact that she was able to birth something that, she's passionate about. That's the first one. The second one, I like talking a lot. And I had started, my children at that time, how I went into politics, career, you were asking career, change. They were asking me, where are we from? And then I just asked them, and they said, I said, where are you from? And then my last child said, oh, we're from, she just named a street. I said, no, you're not from there. You're from this and that. So, but what it did for me was to look for books on where they're from. But I couldn't find those books. So I had to do a 3-year research on my state, where I come from, and putting that book together, I went to an economic summit. I had done a whole 3 books on tourism on my state. And then they said, question and answers. I said, this is it. I'm going to give it to you in this state. You, governor, I'm going to say my mind to you, what I have seen over the last 3 years. I did not know that they had me penned down for, a board, position in the tourism industry, in the tourism, of the state. So long story short, I said my mind. I said, I've paid my dues. I've paid this for this conference, and I'm going to give you my mind. And that was how I was invited from the private sector to be on the board of tourism in the state. And that changed the trajectory of my life, because I was immersed. I was taken into public service through tourism, okay, to design the tourism policies, the strategies. We planned tourism events over a period of 4 years. And after that, I got reappointed to my local government, like a councillor, okay, So that, changed my career. I went into public service. I began to see, how leaders, how people are suffering, how leaders need to be servants, not just lording over them. So that for me birthed this desire to give back, to be a leader, to mentor. So those are the 2 most, significant, points in my life.
Got it. Thank you for sharing those stories. And our last question, in closing, do you have any thoughts or advice that you would like to offer to our audience this afternoon?
I would say, know who you are. Believe in yourself. Do not be apologetic to anyone for who you are. And embrace whatever comes your way in terms of failure, in terms of defeat, because they're not failures, they're not defeat, they're actually investment for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tolu.
Thank you very much for joining us
Thank
this
you.
afternoon.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
The exegesis of our presentation is mind-blowing. If you try to digest it in one sitting, you probably do yourself a lot of disfavor. Mrs. Oluwole has finished the topic, if I can say it that way. I want to implore everybody that is watching that if you can, you want to watch this over and over and over again. I mean, where do I want to start from? The future we are seeing now belongs to those who can activate their DNA. God's expectations are exponential. Set goals, be specific, have measurable goals, realistic goals, retool, upskill, network. I tried writing everything she was saying, but I just couldn't capture it all. So I'm going to employ us to watch this over and over and over and over again, because there are practical skills that we can indeed make use of. She finished by saying that you should know who you are, believe in yourself, and embrace your identity. Mrs. Oluwole indeed has given us the course that will ensure that we have a career change that will make us upwardly mobile. All right, this is the end of the first session of day 2. I'm sure you were impacted as I was, as I am. The next session will come up in about 45 minutes, and we are going to have someone that is well-versed, well-read, someone that is indeed going to blow your mind. You can take that assurance from me. So we're starting 4 p.m. EST, and we'll be having Pastor Dami Lola Oluwatoyinbo come speak with us. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and I hope to see you at 4 p.m. EST.